All right then, you need to go and watch Ron Valiant. This video that he put up, the Alberta Prosperity Project Delegation, which includes this Jeff Rath guy, they apparently have in their constitution or their manifesto about aligning with UNDRiP, which would basically be like aligning with the UN essentially. And he objected to it and then was roundly attacked by everybody, being called a traitor, and with the likes of Mark Friesen even piling on him as well. So, I mean, I've been watching all these guys for a long time. I can tell you Ron Valiant is 100% credible, and he's done a ton of research into this. He can be trusted, but anybody that has any ties to the Crown or anything to do with the Crown in terms of the UN or, even like Mark Friesen, very shadowy guy. I personally don't trust him. You can make your own decisions based on that, but he was big time into the People's Party Canada. And that guy, the whole story with him is, I could do a whole video just about that guy and why I don't trust him, but I'm not going to waste my time. I'll just tell you that you should go to Ron Valiant, subscribe to his channel, watch this video, share it around. And this delegation being headed by this Jeff Rath guy is not going to have any legs at all in Washington, at all. The Trump team are very well aware of all of the tricks and machinations of the Crown. And so there are so many Crown agents and loyalists in Canada. I mean, it's just shocking and astounding. So I've also, you'll be able to watch now the other video, which unfortunately the music came out really loud on the video. My apologies for that. I've included it here unedited. Okay, thank you, and bye for now.
This loop of until Quebec allows English in their schools, there's no charter.
There's no charter.
Which is so insane. But we're here now because Canada was never really a proper country. It's essentially the Hudson's Bay Company.
It is essentially the Hudson Bay Company, and whoever is the holder of that document, the Hudson Bay Charter. It's called something else officially, but that gives you the right to run a corporation as if it was a government. You would not know the difference for all practical things because they're allowed to make their own laws and enforce them. They're allowed to have armed forces, artillery, navy, courts. Think about that. Walmart is allowed to have its own court.
Yeah.
And the courts could hear subject matter to deal with the company, but they could also hear criminal and civil matters. So they were
Which is so crazy because if Canada is a corporation like Walmart, which it is, to call the court is basically an oversight committee from a board of directors in a company.
Yeah.
Right?
They're going to win it almost every time.
Of course, because you're an employee of that corporation. And so what do you have? You have no rights. It's like, do you want to be part of that corporation or not? I'm just turning my light down. And so here we are now where Trump is basically signaling that he's going to incorporate Canada into the United States corporation, and whatever that means. So, what's the 30,000 foot view for you on what's going on right now with this?
Well, I would say that the most direct thing is they're buying the charter. It's a corporation. If Walmart wants to sell out, like they sell, and then another new owner has it. Like that's business. It's just straight up.
It's so straight up. I mean, it is far like what I see in some of the consulting work that I do with people is I'll say, and this is nothing new or controversial. Any lawyer will tell you this, is that if you're a rich person and you own lots of land, the best way to own that land is in a corporation, in a holding company. And then when you sell the land to save yourself title transfer tax, You just appoint new directors to the company, and then they take the company and the land.
Well, this is what the Hudson Bay Company is. If you read the charter, they were granted land, and it was vast. It went any river that flowed into the Hudson Bay from its start, from the like where a river starts, any river flowing in there, that was their land. It went down into where the United States is now, and it covered pretty much almost all of eastern Canada, like Ontario, Quebecish, and down into southern Alberta, what is now southern Alberta. It was a massive amount of land. They had all the mineral rights. This is all in the charter.
Yeah.
They had they could run their forts. They could put cannons on their forts. It's all in there.
Mm-hmm.
You can have munitions. So these forts had artillery. This is Walmart, dude. And they had a full-on monopoly. So what happened was Victoria in the 1800s, so this ran for 200 years like that. And apparently they were pretty ruthless because they've got the power, they've got all the land, if you wanted to put a canoe in the river, you had to buy a license, like on and on and on and on and on. And it was my way or the highway. So and it ran for 200 years. So Victoria formed the Dominion, because there were some other provinces in the east that weren't part of Rupert's Land. So they formed the Dominion basically to compete with this thing, like put it out of business, if you like, force their hand. And read the preamble of the British North America Act. One of the main reasons was to acquire lands, but it doesn't say what lands. And one of the things that was stipulated for this to happen is the railroad going in. They couldn't afford a railroad, but they had to put it in. So it bankrupted everybody. They got a railroad in so they could move goods faster than the Hudson Bay Company, and they forced the surrender, basically, of the Hudson Bay Charter the very next year, 1868. So it was like, boom, boom, just follow the dots.
I know. And it's so, I've never even anybody really give me a theory on why they think Queen Victoria put in the Statute Law Revision Act and removed herself from the Dominion from the British Crown from assuming the Dominion after her death. Have you ever had any thoughts on why she did that?
That's because you're missing part of that same repeal. People just, I think, either can't see it or it's partly disguised. But the very first item on the schedule, it says remove the words that start with "be it therefore" to "same as follows." And if you don't like that can go right by you. But
no
what
shit.
it is it's the enacting clause.
Yeah, right.
It's the words that give the whole document any force and effect. So she removed those. In other words, the B&A Act is gone.
Is gone.
Yeah.
After she dies.
So it doesn't matter about, really, I think what removing Section 2 did was make sure that no king or queen could ever revive it. Mm-hmm. Because all the rights pertaining to the British North America Act would pass to her successors and heirs. Well, now it doesn't, which is why in 82, they took the very same document, British North America Act, all the same words in there, and changed the name.
It's so sneaky. And why they would do that it's hard to understand. It's almost like you'd spend a lifetime trying to answer those questions. But it brings us to where we are today, though, in that, okay, if the Dominion is gone, all there is a company with a charter to do business. And you said earlier, and it might have gone over people's heads, is that maybe Trump's just gonna buy the charter because he can't really buy the land. How do you buy the land? Who gives it to you?
The land comes with the charter.
Land comes with the charter.
And a lot
Just
of
like
people
a
think, a lot of
corporation
people think,
having a
yeah,
land and a holding company.
I'm telling you, it, a lot of people think the land didn't go with the charter, but if you read the Rupert's Land Act, which was the terms of the surrender, it says all lands, all purported lands, like words like purported in there, all the authority and or purported authority, because I'll tell you what, by this time, by the mid to 1800s during Victoria's reign, Hudson Bay Company was way out of their boundaries. In other words, they were on this side of the Rockies. They had no business being over here.
Right.
That wasn't the deal. This was all native land, and it still is. But they just came and just started opening up business.
And
So she took all that too. She took all the stuff that, the way it's written, anything that you weren't supposed to have, I got that now too.
Yep. So where we are today then is there doesn't have to be any kind of vote from the people, because it's like if Walmart sold, let's say it's Jim Walton, who's the CEO of Walmart today. I don't know who it is, or what, doesn't matter. If it's Jim Walton today, he sells the company. He doesn't go to the employees and say, hey, do you guys want to say in this? He doesn't fucking care.
Nope.
The company gets sold, and they might not even know a new owner bought it because it wouldn't matter to them.
Exactly.
So is your opinion of, if this goes down, well, first of all, what do you think the likelihood of this going down is?
Very high. I think that's like notice. And everybody got up in arms, and of course, right away there's a hockey game, a hockey tournament that just pops out of nowhere. And the first game, I didn't watch any of it, but from what I understand, the very first game between Canada and the U.S., a fight breaks out within 3 seconds. Like, yeah, come on, that's kabuki theater, man. That's like, how could you?
It is.
Yeah, like 3 days ago, we were all